irritated. I've been on hold with Social Security for like super long time. Not that that's a surprise. But I'm thinking about... I have an issue I wanted to discuss. An issue of medication, narcotic medication that I've been on for most of my life actually, but the specific fentanyl patch I've been on now for approximately 12 years, I think, or maybe 15. And if anyone knows anything about the fentanyl patch, you know it's some pretty serious heavy-duty stuff, right? I mean, shit, Michael Jackson died on it, Prince died on it. Gets you thinking, right? So yeah, I started talking about it with my doctor, who was actually the fill-in doctor for my doctor who I had been seeing for 8 to 10 years, who retired. I just showed up one day and he was gone and she was there, and I'm your new doctor. Dr. Chapman is now gone. Oh, okay. Anyways, whatever, so I went with the flow, and she of course agreed that I was on too much medication. It wasn't just the patch, I was on Dilaudid and oxycodone as well. And first let me say, I know that sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. I haven't even told you the dose. You'll probably fall over when you hear the dose. But you got to remember, I have a big history, a long history of drug abuse in my past with my parents, my biological parents. Who knows, maybe it goes on even more than that. But I was a heavy-duty heroin and cocaine user for years as a teenager and a young adult. And starting on as a young teenager, 14, 15, I was given at that age things like Thorazine, Stelazil, Haldol, a bunch of other things that ended in zine or ill. I can't remember them all, but they tried anything and everything along the way. Klonopin and Depakote, and I had one doctor even prescribe me Seroquel, which I'm not going to get into that whole situation right now, but I believe to this day that I was wrongly medicated with that. I think it's also what caused my accident that ended up in amnesia. But again, I'll go back to that another time. But the medication issue, I function very well. I function very highly on medications, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I've been on medications my whole life. And I don't think that that's a good thing anymore. I was diagnosed, whether wrongly or not, which I'm trying to look into at this point, but I was diagnosed about 15 years ago with a disc degenerative disease in my spine, in discs L2, 3, and 4, 5. And I was, soon after began treatment with an orthopedic surgeon in Marina Del Rey for that condition. I was undergoing cortisone shots and fusion therapy, and I just recall being at the surgical center often for surgical procedures that were, day procedures. And 4 to 5 years into that, as well, I think I was also treated with oxycodone at the time, possibly Dilaudid. I think that's where those medications started. And I'll just mention real quickly, without going into detail or into too much about that. Oh, just a minute. I might be getting Social Security on the line finally. Hold on. Oh. that doctor was up to no good, because during one of my visits for, I can't remember whether it was a surgical procedure or a regular visit, I was given something, I don't know if it was anesthesia or something else, but upon waking up, the doctor was having sex with me. I think he underestimated the dosage, and I came to sooner than he expected. Now, like I said, I'm not going to go into that, but it did result in a lawsuit and charges brought up against this man. He no longer works as a doctor. He no longer practices thanks to me and his other victims. But anyways, so going from that doctor to the doctor I'd been seeing for the past 8 to 10 years, this most recent doctor, every time I brought up MRIs or tests, he always would, oh, that's not necessary, and I just never really thought anything of it. But now thinking back on it, maybe this guy was not acting appropriately as well, because when I started seeing him, he didn't even question. He just went right from what I told him about the previous doctor and started giving me the medications that I had informed him I was on, which, I didn't lie or anything. I told him what I was on, and that's what he started giving me. And of course, the doses went up as the years went on. He kept, rising the dosages, and I ended up on 200 micrograms per 48 hours of fentanyl. I would wear 2 patches, both 100 micrograms, 180 4-milligram Dilaudids a month, and as well as oxycodone. I believe it was he was giving me 2 different ones. One was, I think one was 60 milligrams. Wait, yeah, 60. Maybe it was 60 milligrams. I'm trying to think. No, wait. I can't even remember the milligrams. 30 milligrams and 45, maybe. No, wait. 30 and 15, that's what it was. 30 milligrams and 15 milligrams. And he would have me take the 30 with a 15 to make it 45. That's what it was. So I had 120 30 milligrams and 120 15 milligrams on top of, my hand is feeling numb, tingly, on top of the Dilaudid and the fentanyl. Now, after only taking that for a short while, I started to have, symptoms and side effects that were starting to actually get in the way of my functioning. So I brought it to the doctor, this fill-in doctor, and I had said, look, can we come down off of this? Can I come down off this a little bit? Because I'm taking too much. Like, I'm getting sick when I sweat too much, and, anyways, so we did, and now I'm only taking 100 micrograms, and none of the pills, well, the oxycodone they gave me last month, I'm trying to think I think it was the 20 milligrams, like 30 of them. So, I'm definitely like off half the doses that I was. I'm not taking any Dilaudid. I don't even want to take any of these pills, so I have no problem coming off them. In fact, I want to come off the patch. I don't want to be on these patches, and if I can handle it with the pain. And now I'm starting to wonder, was this first doctor lying to me completely about all this? Because when I started taking the MRIs for this new doctor, she came back to me with, oh, you don't need all this medication, your condition's not that bad. But then she wouldn't really get into what the condition was. And, there's just been way lack of communication between doctors and me, and my care, and why, and my conditions, and what they are, and why. And I'm really starting to second guess a lot of it. I have pain in my back all the time, and I have a lot of pain. I just deal with pain differently than some people do, and I have a high threshold for pain. I have a high threshold for pain medication as well, and that's not my fault. Maybe it's because my mother was born a meth addict, and maybe that messed up my system. I don't know. I can't tell you that, but I can tell you that I function very highly, and which is why probably nobody even was the wiser over the fact that I was on that much medication, except for the doctor, who seemed to have no problem with it, and now these doctors have a problem with it. And anyway, so, but they're just, you know, they're cutting me off it. You know, I go to my last appointment and they say, oh, your insurance changed to an HMO. We can't see you unless you have $150 or $175 to pay for the doctor's visit, and bye-bye, that's it. No more medication, on your own. Like, isn't this shit serious as far as coming off it abruptly? That's what I want to know. I don't care if I come off it, just don't make me sick. I'm a single mom. I'm a single mother. I have to be able to function. And, you know, I don't do things like drive if I can't function, or if I don't, you know, like, I don't do those things if I'm not okay to do those things. So I won't be able to drive. I won't be, you know, so I don't know though. I mean, maybe I'll be just fine. Who knows? I don't know, but I would have thought that if you're on 200 micrograms of fentanyl for 10 years and then 100 micrograms for 6 months to a year, that coming off of it abruptly might not be such a good idea. I mean, that would be just my guess from my medical training and from my own personal training and experiences. That would be my best educated guess. So I'm just trying to do the right thing and not kill myself or make myself extremely sick. And I don't know what to do about it, because everybody's screwing with my whole, like, plan and system, with messing with my insurance, with, oh, it goes on, and I can't even go there right now. I've got to actually take a break, because I've got to try to maybe get through a different way to Social Security and set up an appointment. And I got a bunch of other shit I got to do right now that I can't do right here sitting in front of the camera, so, and I can't hold the camera and do it, so I'll be back when I get my shit together a little bit more and figure out what it is, you know, have a more solid plan or idea or whatever of, like, what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it over the next week or so, because I need to get myself out of here and move, and I can't seem to find a place to live either. My pods has been sitting in my backyard for nearly 4 months now, paying rent on that and my house. So I got to get it together, man. I'm losing it. So for now, peace out.